An international standard serial number is a unique 8-digit number used to identify a periodical publication at a specific media type. It is internationally accepted as a fundamental identifier for distinguishing between identical serial titles and facilitating checking and ordering procedures, collection management, legal deposit, interlibrary loans etc. When a periodical is published, with the same content, in two or more different media, a different eISSN is assigned to each media type in particular the print and electronic media types, named print eISSN and electronic eISSN. The eISSN system was first drafted as an ISO international standard in 1971 and published as ISO 3297 in 1975. The ISO subcommittee TC 46/SE9 is responsible for the standard. To assign a unique identifier to the serial as content, eISSNL must be used, as defined by ISO 3297/2007. Code format. The format of the eISSN is an 8-digit number, divided by a hyphen into two 4-digit numbers. The last digit, which may be 0 to 9 or an X, is a check digit. The general form of the eISSN code can be expressed by a PCR irregular expression, \D4\\D3, \DX. The eISSN of the journal Hearing Research, for example, is 0378-5955, where the final 5 is the check digit. To calculate the check digit, the following algorithm may be used. Calculate the sum of the first 7 digits of the eISSN multiplied by its position in the number, counting from the right that is, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, respectively. The modulus 11 of this sum is then calculated. Divide the sum by 11 and determine the remainder. If there is no remainder, the check digit is 0, otherwise the remainder value is subtracted from 11 to give the check digit. 5 is the check digit. An uppercase X in the check digit position indicates a check digit of 10. To confirm the check digit, calculate the sum of all 8 digits of the eISSN multiplied by its position in the number, counting from the right. The modulus 11 of the sum must be 0. There is an online eISSN checker that can validate an eISSN, based on the above algorithm. Code assignment. eISSN codes are assigned by a network of eISSN national centers, usually located at national libraries and coordinated by the eISSN International Center based in Paris. The International Center is an intergovernmental organization created in 1974 through an agreement between UNESCO and the French government. The International Center maintains a database of all eISSNs assigned worldwide, the ISDS register, otherwise known as the eISSN register. At the end of 2013, the eISSN register contained records for 1,749,971 items. Comparison with other identifiers, eISSN and ISBN codes are similar in concept, where ISBNs are assigned to individual books. An ISBN might be assigned for particular issues of a periodical, in addition to the eISSN code for the periodical as a whole. An eISSN, unlike the ISBN code, is an anonymous identifier associated with a periodical title, containing no information as to the publisher or its location. For this reason, a new eISSN is assigned to a periodical each time it undergoes a major title change. Since the eISSN applies to an entire periodical, a new identifier, the serial item and contribution identifier, was built on top of it to allow references to specific volumes, articles, or other identifiable components. Media versus content. Separate eISSN are needed for serials in different media. Thus, the print and electronic media versions of a serial need separate eISSN. Also, a CD-ROM version and a web version of a serial require different eISSN since two different media are involved. However, the same eISSN can be used for different file formats of the same online serial. This media-oriented identification of serials made sense in the 1970s. In the 1990s and onward, with PCs, good screens, and the web, what makes sense is to consider only content, independent of media. This content-oriented identification of serials was a repressed demand during a decade, but no eISSN's update or initiative occurred. A natural extension for eISSN, the unique identification of the articles in the serials, was the main demand application. An alternative serials contents model arrived with the index content model and its application, the digital object identifier, as eISSN independent initiative, consolidated in the 2000s. Only later, in 2007, eISSNL was defined in the new eISSN standard as an eISSN designated by the eISSN network to enable collocation or versions of a continuing resource linking among the different media. Availability: the eISSN register is not freely available for interrogation on the web, but is available by subscription. There are several routes to the identification and verification of eISSN codes for the public. The print version of a periodical typically will include the eISSN code as part of the publication information. Most periodical websites contain eISSN code information. Derivative lists of publications will often contain eISSN codes. These can be found through online searches with the eISSN code itself or periodical title. WorldCat permits searching its catalog by eISSN, by entering eISSN plus eISSN code in the query field. One can also go directly to an eISSN's record by appending it to http://www.worldcat.org, for example http://www.worldcat.org 1021-9749. This does not query the eISSN register itself, but rather shows whether any WorldCat library holds an item with a given eISSN. eISSNs: an eISSN can be encoded as a uniform resource name by prefixing it with ERN, eISSN. For example, rail could be referred to as ERN, eISSN 1534-0481. ERN namespaces are case-sensitive, and the eISSN namespace is all caps. If the checksum digit is X, then it is always encoded in uppercase in ERN. Problems: the util-ERNs are content-oriented, but eISSN is media-oriented. eISSN is not unique when the concept is a journal is a set of contents, generally copyrighted content. The same journal have two or more eISSN codes. ERN needs to point to unique content. Examples: Nature has an eISSN for print, 0028-0836, and another for the same content on the web, 1476-4687. Only the oldest is used as a unique identifier. As the eISSN is not unique, the U.S. National Library of Medicine needed to create, prior to 2007, the NLM Unique ID. eISSN does not offer resolution mechanisms like a digital object identifier or an ERN does, so the DOI is used as a ERN for articles, with no need for an eISSN's existence. Example: the DOI name 10.1038/Nature13777 can represent it as an HTTP string by HTTP, dx.ornature13777, and is redirected to the current articles page. But there is no eISSN's online service, like http, dx.issn.org/. To resolve the eISSN of the journal, that is, a kind of http, dx.issn.org/. 1476-4687 redirecting to the journal's home. A unique ERN for serials simplifies the search, recovery and delivery of data for various services including, in particular, search systems and knowledge databases. eISSNL was created to fill this gap. eISSN variants: print eISSN, p-ISSN, the default eISSN, is the eISSN for the print media version of a periodical. Electronic eISSN, eISSN is the eISSN for the electronic media version of a periodical. Linking eISSN, eISSNL is a unique identifier for all versions of the periodical containing the same content across different media. See also, Wikipedia, eISSN, template, eISSN. References. External links, list of 63,800 eISSN numbers and titles, eISSN International Centria, cataloging part, eISSN Manual, eISSN International Centria. How U.S. publishers can obtain an eISSN, United States, Library of Congress. eISSN in Canada, Library and Archives Canada. Getting an eISSN in the UK, British Library. Getting an eISSN in France, Bibliothèque Nationale de France. Getting an eISSN in Germany, Deutsche Nationalbibliothek.